performers of the year after year after year, and they just don't leverage their club as much as they could and get out of it. So, signing bottles would be just a tiny way. And I love it because, it kind of makes mead makers, winemakers, and everybody feel a little bit more special like they are. And really, people love that.
Yeah, they do. It's amazing. People think you got to do big, humongous things to make people happy, to make people want it. When in reality, all you have to do is just nice things that they will like.
Mm-hmm. Or teach me. When I all of a sudden you can say, you don't even have to like it, but all of a sudden you provide one that has what you were talking about, a larger amount of fruit. I can't remember the fruit you were talking about. Let's just say cherries, a larger amount of cherries, peaches, I think you were using, then and a smaller amount of cherries, and you found that it made a difference in the flavor. If you could share that, then that's amazing, because all of a sudden I'm learning something new. And then I'm going to stick with you because you taught me. I've been in wine for over 18 years. I can't tell you how many people have told me what I think of the glass I'm drinking. And they'll come up and they're like, oh, you're tasting this, this, and that. And I'm like, so I just keep my mouth shut. But if you can help me taste it, and I have the experience instead of you telling me what I'm experiencing, then all of a sudden you've got a friend for life sometimes.
Yeah. I hate
definitely at the Mazer Cup.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That is absolutely one of the best experiences that I got at the Mazer Cup last year. My first year attending was the chance to taste all these different things. And, I was in the pouring room, so I didn't really get to see labels. I didn't know what any of the stuff was, but some of it's like you have a sniff, and then when it comes back and you're allowed to have a taste, okay, I know exactly what that has to be, because there's nothing else that can be if it tastes like this. Some of it's just it's amazing to get a chance to taste some of these things that you like. I'm in Canada. We don't have orange trees, therefore we don't have orange blossom, and I don't know where meadow foam comes from, but we don't have that either.
Oregon and Washington. Yeah, it's a West Coast thing. Oregon and Washington, and not every year.
Yeah, exactly. But and things like, we don't have a whole lot of the varietals that you see up there, like the blueberry blossom and the blackberry blossom. All of those things sound fantastic, and then you get to taste them, and it's just I can't even describe how important that was to my experience as a mead maker, is being able to taste all these things that I never had access to before. And what you were saying earlier about being able to taste multiple pecan pie meads at a time, educate your palate. That is totally how I learn. Like, when I was trying to educate my palate myself, what I did was an experiment where I took a base wine and added too much acid to one and too much tannin to another, and some vanilla to another, and some oak to another, so I could taste them all compared to each other and compared to the control, so that I could try to educate my palate a little bit. It turned out not to work because I didn't have very good sanitation, and some of the batches went kind of funky on me. But it's one of those things where, like, getting a chance to taste stuff back to back and compare it from one to the other is an extremely valuable experience for your palate.
I think so too. And the thing with like me, as I'm learning, and I will hopefully always be learning, is I finally talked to somebody who's one of the top winemakers around the world. He's a huge consultant, and he has like the top 3 brands in Safeway, not under his name, of course. And his son is becoming a winemaker as well. And as he came on out, the son hadn't tasted wine for a week, and we were doing a pouring that we tested both the father and son for, because we were picking wines for an alumni program. And the son said, he goes, oh, I haven't tasted wine for a week, my palate's not going to be as sharp. And we looked, because to me, I just thought, oh, these people have this, you guys have this miracle palate that you can taste things I can never taste. And instead of like pear, I was sitting with somebody who said slightly underripened pear. I'm like, are you kidding me? You couldn't just say pear. You couldn't say underripened, but you had to say slightly underripened. Really? So, it
just means that this person has tasted very underripe pear and not so underripe pear and ripe pear.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
And he's a master somm.
Pretentiousness
he was a
is
master
important.
somm.
Pretentiousness is important too. So.
Yeah, it's a master somm.
You have to get better with slightly underripe Japanese pears that are grown on the west side of the mountain, but only on Hokkaido and on a Thursday and a full moon. That's when you get really into it. Oh my God! I was just checking to see if we had any questions on Facebook, and the first thing up on my feed is Sergio at Melavino, which I'm going to be at on Friday. Woohoo! His new mead is called Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, cool!
And it's a Morello cherry mead on pink and smoked black peppercorns.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so here's another one that I'd like to try is, have you ever had strawberry jam with black pepper?
Oh, God, yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, my goodness. Those two, that combo, I mean, that would be just phenomenal.
I love black pepper, but I'll have to try it just because you said so.
Well, I put, I do...
I'm told strawberry and basil is fantastic.
Oh, strawberry and basil is amazing. I do living history, so they put, like, spices and flavors together that are totally not what we think of as complementary, And so I spent over the last 20 years a good chunk of my life living on either the 16th, 17th, or 18th century, and so I've learned to look at flavor profiles differently than what I was raised with my modern sensibilities. And one of the things that they like to do is pepper with sweet things. And you saw it all the time. There's all kinds of things where they combine pepper with a sweet flavor. And so I started doing that.
Cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And one of my favorite mulled meads is a Henry VIII era recipe that I got out of a book that I got at one of those castles, and they had all the recipes that that came forward from that time when Henry VIII was king, and one of them was a mulled mead that had among the things in it pepper. And it had, it was like cinnamon and nutmeg and ginger and pepper on a super sweet red wine base.
Ooh, yum.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you the recipe if you want it. Just ping me and I'll drop it to you because I've got the book. You can tell that's my favorite recipe because there's all these red wine fingerprints on the pages. From all the times I've made it, it's got all these little sticky fingerprints all over it. But yeah, it was, and it actually didn't use pepper. They used gallon-gale because pepper was literally worth its weight in gold in the 1500s. Literally worth its weight. Gold was, you could get gold easier than you could get black pepper because you could only get it from the Far East and the Spice Trail and in the Middle East. So literally you could do like a pound of pepper and a pound of gold. There you go. Pick one. And so they use gallon-gale, which is kind of a ginger pepper flavor. And so I literally keep a jar of gallon-gale because I use it in all kinds of things. I love the flavor, and it combines really well with sweet stuff.
Well, that, and you never know what the difference is going to be between something that's been dried or something that's been grated. Like I don't really like cooking with powdered turmeric, but if I can get my hands on that stuff fresh, boy, I put it in everything. I adore the taste of fresh turmeric, but I can't. It's not my thing dried. It just ugh. So anytime I get my hands on it, I grate the hell out of it and put it in the freezer, and then just break off a lump for whatever I need it for.
I like ginger, and you're right. There's a big difference between. I've never had fresh gallon-gale. All I've ever gotten is dried because that's the way it's usually presented, at least here, or in the sources I've used. But yeah, I mean, it's
same.
There are a lot of different, really interesting combos. If you go back and you look at some of the historically based recipes for food, you'll be stunned at some of the things you go, I never thought of that. I mean, they would serve their meat, and you don't think of this. Their meat had like cloves and nutmeg.
Well, that's pretty common.
Yeah, well, yeah, but not really. No, I mean, most people. I mean, I don't put cloves and nutmeg on my steak. Generally butter.
No,
yes,
but I do put it in. I do put it in my. It belongs in breakfast sausages have clove in them, and like pork goes really well with clove. It's gratin, French Canadian meat spread.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah,
that's got clove in it.
That's a cultural. That's a cultural thing. See, we don't get that down here. Now, you probably also see that maybe down in New Orleans, where they've got a lot of French influence down there. But you don't see that much in North Carolina.
Yeah, probably.
We got a bunch of Scots around here, so you get a lot. It's a whole different approach. But yeah, it's really interesting. So yeah, Theresa, we're like out in the boonies with our flavor profiles. There is no box. There really isn't. Weird.
Well, I hate it because now I have a world ahead of me to explore. So.
Oh, you'll taste some really.
It'll be so much fun.
Yeah, just latch
and see if you can taste some different honeys too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hoping that marshmallow one.
Oh, meadow foam is amazing. Yeah, latch on to AJ and I at the conference. We'll drag you off to a few of the afters events, and you get.
I'm going to take you up on that. I'll take you up on that.
Please,
thank you.
Yeah. and you'll see Carolyn there because she's going to be there.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
We don't bite hard.
Well, yeah, unless we're asked really nice.
Unless you ask really nice.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, it's dangerous to let us be in the same physical location for too long.
Yeah, AJ and I are trouble on wheels.
We get up to mischief.
Yeah, she needs a shirt that says, "In my defense, I was left unsupervised." Yeah.
Yeah. And I do wear a hat that proclaims bad example.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I wore at the Mazer Cup last year.
Yeah, which is hilarious because I get in way more trouble than you do at the parties, so.
Yeah, well, you know all these people already. I'm still getting to know them. I'll be bad.
Right. I'll drag you around and introduce you. You know that. I'm not shy.
I'm not shy either. Yeah, that's half the problem.
Right? Just that you can't hear yourself thinking those parts. We have good times. This pretty much 24/7 mead for the entire week. By the end of the week, Theresa, you won't want to touch the stuff for about a month.
I don't know. It sounds like it's going to be really great. So I'm excited about it.
It is. Yeah, we have. I mean, there's so much going on the whole time. I mean, there's the conference itself and the trade show going Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday, and of course we have our meet and greet on Wednesday night, and then on Friday the Mazer Cup has the home competition judging, and then in the evening they have the mead mixer, which is the largest public mead tasting in the world, literally.
Oh, nice.
By a huge margin. If you haven't got your tickets yet, I highly recommend you get them quick before they're sold out. And that goes for all y'all out there, too. If you haven't got your mead mixer tickets yet, you better hurry up and get them. I didn't go fast enough, and I had to buy a regular rather than a VIP ticket, which is what I prefer. But anyway, so it's like there's over 100 meads in there. Meaderies from all over the world, and Carvin Wilson, who is a huge advocate and supporter of the mead industry, and he's just a guy who makes mead. He's not a meadery owner or anything. He's just a guy who loves to make mead and drink mead, and he's actually a business owner in his own right in the IT part of the world. But he is, and he's in Arizona. Yeah, he's in Arizona, and he has hosted a number of tables at the Mead Mixer to bring in little meaderies and meaderies from other parts of the world. So there's a huge representation of foreign meaderies that are going to be there this year, which is great. So it's just really, really neat. So there'll be a lot of really cool meaderies. And then Saturday is the commercial judging, and then in the evening is the awards banquet that the Mazer Cup throws. And after all of these things on every single night, there are parties all over the hotel. I mean, we literally have probably close to half the hotel booked up with mead lovers. So there's little private parties, there's big parties, there's invited private tastings, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And it's just really, really neat. The opportunity to meet some of the best mead makers in the world and taste some of the best mead in the world.
Sold.
Yeah, I know, right? I always stay till it's really funny because I come in Monday because we've got our annual meeting. The AMMA has their annual meeting on Tuesday, so I got to get there early to sort of prep things. But then I stay till the following Monday because even though all the actual official stuff is over on Saturday night with the end of the Mazer Cup after the awards banquet, we always end up staying up late Saturday night, those of us that are sticking around, because we don't have anything to get up for on Sunday. Because they had to get
Except
up
for the
early.
massage we had last
Except
year.
for our massage, like we had last year,
Oh, that
yeah.
was awesome.
But yeah, we bought a massage package. There's a spa at the hotel, and we don't normally have to get up. I have to get up early to judge on Friday and Saturday, and of course I have to get up early on the conference days because I'm running the conference. But you have to get up early to judge. It's like you do not want to like OD on meat the night before if you're going to be tasting meat all day the next day. It's unfair to the people who enter, to do that. So